Deep within the heart of California's Sierra Nevada mountains lies the ancient, sprawling wilderness of Kings Canyon National Park. Standing at 268 feet tall is the General Grant tree. This diagram shows the cubic volume of the General Grant's trunk compared to a standard school bus. By physical mass, it is recognized as the second largest tree on Earth. Across the United States, monuments built to honor national sacrifice are almost uniformly carved from rigid, unchanging materials like marble, granite, or bronze. The General Grant offers a stark contrast. It is a monument made entirely of living, growing wood. Entrusting a permanent national memory to a biological organism means accepting that the memorial itself is vulnerable to time, weather, and the laws of nature. The tree's symbolic role in American history began taking shape nearly a century ago. In 1926, President Calvin Coolidge formally designated the General Grant as the nation's Christmas tree. At the time, the decree framed the ancient sequoia as a seasonal gathering place and a symbol of peace for local communities. 30 years later, the aftermath of the Second World War and the Korean War introduced a much more somber national mood. President Dwight D. Eisenhower issued a new declaration that elevated the tree's purpose. He officially named the General Grant as America's only living national shrine, dedicating it specifically to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. The designation shifted the tree from a localized holiday tradition into a permanent biological memorial, recognizing military sacrifice. Surviving the harsh conditions of the Sierra Nevada long enough to serve as a permanent shrine requires a highly specialized biological defense system. The giant sequoia relies first on incredibly thick, fibrous bark. This outer layer contains high concentrations of chemical compounds called tannins, which protect the living wood from rot, disease, and boring insects. The tree also has a complex relationship with fire. It requires periodic, low-intensity blazes to clear competing undergrowth and allow its seeds to germinate in the soil. The evidence of this cycle is visible on almost all ancient sequoias, carrying deep black scars of past fires. Even when fire burns deep, the sequoia compartmentalizes the damage. The healthy cambium layer continues to grow outward, slowly enveloping the dead sections. A living structure that sustains deep wounds and continues to stand resilient offers a fitting biological parallel for the enduring spirit of the veterans it represents. After millennia of ecological stability, the environmental conditions in the Sierra Nevada are rapidly shifting. Prolonged droughts and rising average temperatures are placing the broader forest ecosystem under severe stress. The historical pattern of low-level ground fires has been replaced by high-intensity crown fires. These burn hot enough and high enough to breach the sequoia's natural defenses. The combination of extreme heat and dry fuel loads places even the massive General Grant tree at direct risk of destruction. Biological adaptation has its limits. The tree is facing an environmental crisis that it cannot simply outgrow alone. Ensuring the survival of this species now requires active human intervention and modern forest management. Protecting this specific ecosystem carries a weight that extends beyond standard environmental conservation. It remains the nation's only living national shrine. Allowing modern climate threats to destroy the General Grant would mean the loss of nearly a century of continuous national remembrance. The tree stands today as a towering, breathing testament to endurance. If our historical monuments and symbols of sacrifice are to endure, we have to actively protect the living environments that sustain them.